All right, it's time to start building my spark plug wire holder. I have received this, I keep wanting to call it Paxilin, and it's not Paxilin, it's Bakelite. I got a thick one. It's about 1/2 inch thick, something like that, 1/2 inch 3/8. No, actually, no, it is 1/2 inch. And I've just got it all set up here now. I'm going to cut it using my special little cutting tool here. And I've put this clamp on here so that I can get as straight a line as possible. Now, I know I'm not going to get it perfect, but I will be filing it down afterwards, doing a draw file method, or I may even use a wood plane, I don't know, because this is kind of like plastic. I've started, I've got these pieces of metal ready. These holes are spaced correctly for the cam cover. I will need to extend the studs on the cam cover, but as they're special for the cam shaft, I'm going to have to put like a nut and then a bit of thread to bring it up for the dome bolt. Then I will be able to decide at what point, with the two thicknesses of this, what point I need to make a right angle bend in that direction. Probably be about 1 inch or so, I would imagine, you know, as that's kind of 1/2 inch. And one thing that you must make sure if you ever do this, and my friend David, or Dave, should I say, Classic Car Cave, reminded me, you must always make sure you have the sealing washer on the cam cover. In other words, in this case, it's the copper washer. So the copper washer will go here between this piece, actually, sorry, lying. It will go between this piece, because this piece will be, this piece will be, it's not going to be that way, is it? It's going to be like that. If I could balance it, that would be helpful, wouldn't it? Why don't you balance, you bitch? Because you called me a bitch, I don't want to balance. Yeah, so I'm just trying to demonstrate to you guys. Hope you appreciate the effort. So, you know, the Paxilin will be, I said it again. The Bakelite will be in here with the holes drilled through for the HT wires. So the copper washer will be here. And then the stud will be extended through and the chrome nut will go on top. And I probably, in all honesty, will get another copper washer on top there. Don't need it, but it looks pretty. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do about this. I may try and polish it and then lacquer it. Haven't decided. That's something I will have to think about. What else have we got to do on this? Do you know, a thought just occurred to me and then it disappeared. It must have been really important thought, mustn't it? No, it's gone. Whatever the thought was, it's gone. Oh, yes. Obviously, the reason I am doing 2 pieces of this, not 1, and the reason I chose this thickness is because I'm going to put 2 of these pieces of this together, clamp them, drill the holes for the wires, and then should you ever need to replace one of the wires for whatever reason, you can just undo the bolts, take the one piece out, and you can get to the wires. Again, you may think, well, that's silly, Gary. You could just take the ends off of the plug wire, you know, the cap. Well, no, because they're special wires to go with the electronic ignition. Had they been the good old copper wires, yeah, you could have done that and I wouldn't have needed to do a double layer. It always happens, doesn't it? Every time I'm videoing. I'm going to let it finish. Right, so I will then put these 2 layers together and it will be perfect. Now, it will end up a little chunky, you know, I'm going to grant you that, but I think it's going to look pretty good. And if it doesn't, then I'll put it in the trash. All right, let's move on to the next stage, which is actually cutting this, then getting it, setting it all up again and cutting. And I can't remember if I mentioned it, but I've set this up so that the edge is set, and I can just run it along there and get it as straight as I possibly can. And this is a piece of waste, and this is the piece I need. This is going to be fun. Okay, now I've cut off the two pieces I need. They're not perfectly flat, but they're perfectly smooth, and that's okay. They will be residing here on this, and this piece will go here, and I've marked it where I'm going to put a bend in there, and then I'll do the same at this end, bend it in the other direction. And then what I intend to do is get this line here, find the center, mark out evenly 3 this side and 3 this side, then put this in a vise and drill the holes through big enough for the cable. Then I can put it one piece there, and it will, you know, have the groove in it, and this will be the same, and that will go on there, and then, well, that's the theory. So let's get on and do it. Okay, it's confession time. I bought, oh sorry, I put them away, these little beasties here that go in here, and I may be repeating myself here, to cut this. Jesus Christ, could I ever remember the bloody name? Not Paxilin. Why can't I remember that name? This is pathetic. That stuff. Alright, so, sorry about that. Now I've been trying to bend the metal. I am not a metal bending person, unlike Dave. I hear he's a bit of a bender. No, I'm kidding. It's just he's fucking good with metal. I'm not. I haven't practiced as much as he has. As you can see, I keep getting it wrong. I get this one here, and then that's too long. I get this one here, and that's too long. And I draw the line, and I bend it always on the line. Did that bit okay. So I said, fuck it. No, I'm not going to accept it. I cannot accept it. It's not how I work. So I've gone and bought myself another big ass piece of metal. Done my first bend, and I figured tomorrow I'll do the rest. I'm not going to do any more today. As you can see, there have been a few failures. What is it? I don't know if it was Edison said. It took him 99 times to figure out how to make a light bulb. And he said, no, I figured 99 times how not to make a light bulb. So you got to look at it that way. I'm not up to 99. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. And hopefully this one will work, but I got to think about it. Because I'm sorry, my doggy Finley is bugging me, so I gotta go play with Finley. I'll be back. Okay, finally I've managed to get the bends correct. You will note that I have trimmed the corners off. It just made it easier to fit it. This is now nicely sanded. I've not finished yet because obviously I need to round off these ends here and here. That will be done. Next I will need to mark this and drill appropriate size holes, evenly spaced, starting with number 1 here, and then number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 heading towards the front of the engine, because as we all know, that's the correct way to number cylinders. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Gonna bend this one up a little bit more, but not much, and then round the corners, as you can see. So I'll mark that, round them off, and then I'll get some draw file out and draw file it. Took me a while to get it right. Gotta say that, no two ways about it. Took me a while. But hey, that's what it is. Okay, so this is the final setup now. Got to trim the edges, drill the holes, then, not sure, maybe polish and lacquer. I'm not quite sure yet. Obviously I will line these up better, and I also have to mark and drill all the holes evenly spaced for the HT leads. That's the next phase. Let me get on with it and then I'll come back to you. Right, this is drilling the Paxolin. No, Bakelite. One day I'll remember. I started off with a small drill. I'm now on the second drill, and I will be finishing it off with the third drill. Now, do note, these are special drills. These are drills for drilling plastic, and if you use normal drills, it will probably split, and, well, basically you won't be very happy. Basically, ugh. So you won't be very happy. You need to get the proper drills for this. Now, as we can see, they're pretty close to central. Not absolutely perfect, I'll grant you that, but it's gonna be okay. And then that I will fit into the frame, which I've yet to finish. I've still got to round the ends off and drill the holes in the relevant places for that. That one's kind of done, but as I've mentioned before, once I get the cut, then I will draw a file to make it look smooth. And then, do I buff it or not to buff it? That is the question. Still haven't made my mind up whether I'm going to polish this or not. I know there's marks on it, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, excuse the shadows. The sun is behind me. No, not my sun. That would be weird. These are the pieces, clear lacquered. Just waiting for it to dry. It's going to take a little while. It makes it look even, it makes it look nice, and it's what I want to do. And if you don't like it, oh well, what a shame. Oh dear, oh my, how sad. But yeah, we're getting there. Bakelite. Yes, it's Bakelite. All right. I will be flipping them and spraying the underside. I can't do all four sides at once, just not possible. That's just why they're sitting on my nuts. Next, I will continue to work on the aluminium pieces, get that sorted and polished. I do have to polish it. I can't leave it alone. Right, as I haven't pushed a video out for a little while, sorry, been busy with visitors. My sea star has been here. Haven't seen her for 20 years, so kind of had to spend some time with her. And we did some things. Check out my Grand Canyon helicopter flight. However, that aside, I'm nearly there with this, nearly. I will include it in my next video. I want to push this one out. That is slightly twisted, so I'm going to that and get that right. Then I will finish off, as I keep mentioning, by draw filing the ends to make that look purdy, and draw file that to make that look purdy, and then polish this and make that look purdy. As I said, that will be in my next video because I want to push this one out to give you something to comment on, laugh about, cry about, whatever. Okay, now get down that garage, go do some shit.